Hello, Tanse, bonjour, good day, tawau, as we say in Cree. Welcome to this edition of Hoop Dance with yours truly, Dallas Arcand, and I'm here today to share some knowledge about hoop dancing and from the beautiful unceded territory of the Okanagan Nation, also known as the Syilx Nation. What a beautiful place to be sharing such knowledge on the land, uh, straight from the heart, straight from all the years of experience. Again, my name is Dallas Arcand. I am a three-time world champion hoop dancer, and it's a great pleasure to share with you today on hoop dancing. And I'm going to go through all the hoops as if I was there teaching you right in person. So first things first, I want to share a little bit about the background of hoop dancing and the difference between the old style hoops and the new style hoops. So back in the old days, our ancestors used to use basically willow hoops. And the willow hoops, they're really easy to bend. They're the only kind of hoop that will bend and won't break. And it takes a lot of patience to make this version of the hoop. It takes about a whole day. Plus, you got to go out and you got to pick the hoop itself, and you got to be able to process it properly. You got to peel the bark. You got to shape the hoop, and then you got to fit the hoop into its fitting. Now, I have a little piece of green tape here because I was actually dancing with this hoop one time and I actually stepped on it. So they are a little bit more delicate, and that's why we use these hoops, because the style of hoop dancing has changed quite dramatically over the millenniums, over the generations, over the many years and years of passing it down and passing it on, and part of the evolution of hoop dancing. Now, the original hoop dance with this style of hoop would have been more or less of a ceremony, because the hoop dance itself comes from a ceremonial background, and the ceremony itself, nobody in my circle that I know of has ever witnessed the old style hoop dance ceremony, because a lot has changed in our culture through the generations, through colonization, assimilation, all those things. So what you see here today is what you get, right? So we use modern materials, and again, this is part of the evolution of who we are as Indigenous people. And from the culture that I come from, the hoop dance wasn't necessarily a part of our culture. Not to say that it was or wasn't, but from my recollection and what I've been told, it only dates back a couple generations to maybe the early 1900s. Now, some tribes and nations date back the hoop dance right down to the 1500s, and some as far as like 1,000 years. So nobody knows for sure, but the fact that it exists today speaks volumes, and that's part of our truth and who we are in this era of reconciliation. So let's get to it. So the first thing that you need to know about hoop dancing, I'm going to teach you a few techniques for those of you that are beginners or that want to learn more in depth about what the hoop dancing is. There's a lot to it. So the first thing I always teach people whenever I do my presentations, and a lot of schools I've done over the course of my time, I always find that humor works best. So I always tell the kids and the students, I always say, hey, the first thing you need to know about hoop dancing is this is not a hula hoop. This is just a hoop, because we don't hula hoop in hoop dancing. So as you can see, the hoop is like really small, and it's just not our vibe. No disrespect to the hula hoopers out there. You know, I love what they do. It's amazing. And I have a lot of friends that do hula hooping. It's a beautiful art. But what we do in our culture is hoop dancing. We dance to the beat of the drum. We dance and do that 1-2 step, that right, left, 1-2 step. And that's what makes the hoop dance. So your whole body and rhythm, it all pulsates to that beat, to that 1-2 step. So right, left, and 1-2 step. Even the way that my shoulders swing to the beat, they always move. So men and women, all alike, we all kind of jive to that same beat, that basic step, that basic beat. So that's the first thing you need to know about hoop dancing, is the dancing part. You need to get that in order right before you proceed with doing the hoop dancing. Now, a lot of my beginner students, they always forget to move their feet when they're doing hoop dancing, but I always remind them that you have to keep that in mind. Now, there's a few different techniques I want to teach you with one hoop. So one hoop, basically, the first thing you need to know is how to pick up the hoop. Now, me being the innovator that I am, like I said, I've been dancing for 30 years. So I've learned all kinds of techniques over the years. So I have 3 main techniques of how to pick up a hoop. So the first one being the most simplest, you just simply stand in front of the hoop and you press on it with, I believe they call that the ball of your foot. So you push and you roll it up like that, and then you're able to pick up the hoop and start dancing right away. And we'll start off with some figure 8s. This is what I like to call figure 8s, because this is the infinity symbol. If you really look at it, if you look at the motion of the hoop, it's doing that infinite symbol. So everything we do in hoop dancing always reinforces that circle. So all the movements and momentums, it's going with that circular motion of energy. So I'm going like this while I'm dancing, I'm doing that. And then you could even switch hands. Then you could get really tricky with that and go underneath your legs. For example, you can go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And all the while I'm still reinforcing. And notice my feet are moving while I'm doing that. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 1. There we go. So it's a constant flow of energy that makes up the hoop dance. So there's your first lesson, how to pick up the hoop. And I showed you a couple little moves to start off with. And for example, that's what you do going into the hoop dance. Now, the second version of picking up the hoop, I want to show you guys really quick. So here's the second version. So simply by placing the hoop in front of you, this one's a little different, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump inside of the hoop, and then I'm going to back kick it up and scoop it up. So it kind of has to do it in one motion while you're dancing. So kick, scoop, up, and dance. So that's what it's all about. So it's all about, you got to dance into the hoop, pick it up, and then make a move. I'm going to show you some suggested moves. These are common moves that most hoop dancers would know, especially some of the intermediate to professional level hoop dancers. So if you're a beginner, this is a great move to learn fast and learn just as you're getting to know the hoop dancing. So here we go. So here's the move. So you're going to dance into the hoop like this and kick, pick it up like that. So it's all in one motion. It's really fast. I tried to do it as slow as I could, but I'm going to break it down even slower. So 1, 2 step, 1, 2, and then while you're doing this, you kick back. And notice as I kick back, this foot's already in motion, ready to pick it up. And then what I do is I turn with it to scoop it up. There we go. And then I pick it up, and then I start doing some moves. So I'm going to show you a couple of advanced techniques of what I would do for that move. So say I pick it up like this, and this is where I get into the advanced techniques of spinning the hoop sideways. I guess this would be at a horizontal position. So I'm floating the hoop like this, but I'm spinning the hoop. So that's the other thing. People always wonder, what size should the hoops be? Well, every body is built a little different. So I often refer to as just your arm span. So your hoop should be able to fit underneath your torso where your armpit is, and you should be able to just grab it like that. See, I'm not even grabbing it, I'm just holding it like that. So the reason for that is because this fits over my shoulders like that, and so on and so forth. And that's how I'm able to spin it like this. So that's the next technique I want to show you. Spin around like this. 2, 3, 4, and stop. Change. 2. So notice I change hands. So one of the techniques that I teach people, and not everybody gets this at the beginning. Some of you might get this right away. So when I spin around like this, I actually meet my hands. So forward, my knuckles meet. And then when I meet in the back, this is the way my knuckles meet, like that, without twisting the hoop. Because basically you want the hoop to roll around your body without twisting it, right? So that's the philosophy, is that you need to continue that momentum, just like a whirlwind. So that's essentially what I'm imitating in this part of the dance. So again, like this, now spinning, then twirling like that, and spinning and twirling like that. So all while I'm dancing. Now I've got 2 variations to add to this to make up the whirlwind. So you as a dancer become the whirlwind. You become the whirlwind by perpetuating that spinning motion, just like a whirlwind. And if you think about it, your body is full of oxygen, and you are wind. You become wind. You are the whirlwind, because your lungs are filled with air. Your blood is full of air, and you're in the air. You're manipulating the air, like that one TV show, The Airbender, or I don't know if that makes any sense, but I'm just going on and on about it, and I just wanted to share that. So anyways, let's go back to this. So now is the variations. We're gonna go spin, change, and then as we turn, we're gonna go under the leg, change. It's hard to do it slow motion for you guys, so I'm gonna do it fast. So like this, change under the leg, back, change, opposite leg, like that. There we go, just like that. So now the variation, this is where it gets really tricky, folks. So the variation is I'm gonna go from underhand to overhand. And that one is really tricky to do. And then even to switch back like that. So if you look really close at my hand, what I'm doing is I'm timing it as it comes around using my thumb and changing it like that. So this is more of a feeling technique. So underhand, you gotta use your fingers and roll the hoop off of your fingers like that, like kind of like a rolling motion. So like that, up thumb, and then down, roll your fingers into that. And either way, you're using your thumb both ways, so wrap your thumb around it. So this one's like a thumb technique. You use your thumb and then back to your hand, and then when you go back, you use your hand, roll into it. So it's really tricky. So like this, thumb and back down. Okay, so that's the other technique I wanted to show you. So that's 2. So the other move I'm going to show you is, I'm going to credit this move to Patrick Willie, because I think Patrick Willie's seen some of my moves. I'm pretty sure a lot of these younger dancers learned a lot from me. Sorry, I'm just fixing my band-aid here, it's falling off. But as I was saying, I'm pretty sure a lot of these younger hoop dancers that are now adults have studied a lot of my moves, because there was a part in there is probably about a good decade of hoop dancing where I was innovating a lot of techniques and moves. So I just wanted to share that and give props to Patrick Willie and all those other dancers that have continued that momentum of being innovative for our style of dance. So anyways, here's the Patrick Willie style. So my style is leg kick up, right, and hoop around like that. So Patrick Willie style is leg down, back foot out, and then you have to change like this. So that's more of a Patrick Willie style. So Dallas Arcand style, Patrick Willie style, and then Dallas Arcand style, over the head. So there you go. There's 3 moves that sets you into the motion of becoming the whirlwind, okay? So there's the moves. So again, I'm gonna start from the beginning. Pick it up, hoop, pick it up, go. There we go. So there's a quick lesson on that. So now the third way to pick up the hoop, I'm just going to show you really briefly here. So the third way, you're basically just gonna, again, this is dancing. You have to hoop, dance. As you hoop dance, you pick up the hoop like this, and then you're gonna kick sideways like that and throw up the hoop. So that one's my very own signature move that I came up with. And like I said, I've had to be innovative with the hoops. So here's another way of doing it. You can do it on the left side now. You should be able to do everything on both sides of your body. That's what I love about hoop dancing, is it teaches you to be ambidextrous. It teaches you to be agile and move through the hoops with ease and grace and beauty. So there's your 3 moves. So typically how I would do this is, say I'm dancing, for example, I would kick the hoop sideways like this, oh, and then I would get into some moves like rolling it over the shoulders and stuff like that. So there's many different combinations that I can go into with you, but learning the foundation is really important. So one of the techniques that, if you're learning about hoop dancing, is there's a lot of hand techniques that people don't even realize, that your hands really are the magic of the hoop dancing, because how you move your hands and your body are really crucial to what makes up the hoop dance. So anyways, here I'm going to show you some hand techniques of how to change hands. So see the hoop spinning around like this? I'm going to grab the hoop like this, so that's crossover, and then this is a parallel switch. A crossover switch and a parallel switch. Crossover, parallel. So now when we switch directions, we're going to go parallel, crossover. So we're reversing that. So parallel, crossover, parallel, crossover. And how that works is, say for example, you want to dance with the hoop. You're dancing, you do some crossovers, and then you can also go, you can go in a circle. So this is something I've taught myself. And I remember back in the early days, hoop dancers weren't doing this move. So this is one of my moves that I created to help innovate the hoop dance to where we're at today. So anyways, here's the innovative move I did. So I thought one day, why can't I just go around in a circle and keep the hoop spinning? So that's what I focused on, how to make that happen, to go in a circle and keep the hoop spinning. So I'm doing parallel, behind the back crossovers. That's the only way that this works. You can't do the cross, or you can't do the cross over the hand like this. You have to do parallel behind the back. So parallel behind the back. And then if you get really good at it, this is where you use that thumb trick again, and then you can switch over and go this way, go the opposite direction. And here's a little Sage Romero. I learned that move from my good buddy Sage Romero when I was over in Spain, and that's kind of doing like a fire dancer type movement, where you spin behind the back like this. And like I said before, you should be able to do this on both sides. And like I said before, you should be able to spin the hoop in multiple different configurations and directions. So there's a little crash course on hoop dancing. Now I can't really teach you guys all that I know with one hoop, because I'd be sitting here for hours trying to teach you every single thing. So I just wanted to teach you the basics. So that's the basic fundamentals that will get you started into hoop dancing. It will help you to learn the basics of hoop dancing. Even if you're not going to be a hoop dancer, you can use it for fitness, you can use it for wellness, you can use it for meditation, because there's a lot of meditation and concentration involved when it comes to hoop dancing. Now, one other trick I want to show you guys is how to jump through the hoop like a skipping rope. So a lot of hoop dancers, we do this. All this is just to show our skill and how to keep time to the beat, because keeping time to the beat is essential. It's really important when it comes to hoop dancing. So here I'm going to skip to the beat. So what you got to do is you got to hold the hoop like this, like you're going to pass it out, right? You're going to pass it. Here, I'm giving you a piece of bannock. Here you go. Here, have an Indian taco. No, just kidding. Holding the hoop like this is part of the key of what makes this. So what I teach my students is you have to bend your body like a rabbit, like this, like a bunny rabbit. And then you have to be able to push the hoop up and down like this to leverage it. So I'm going to show you guys in one motion. So here's one. So there, you should be able to jump through the hoop one time. And remember, these hoops are really small. Like, they might look big on camera, but if you look at them compared to my body, they're really small. Like, you could probably fit 3 of these hoops in my height, right? So these hoops are, I believe, are only 26 inches across, that make up the diameter of it. So anyways, I'm gonna jump through the hoop right now. I'm gonna show you guys the trick. So again, watch really closely. So we go 1, oh, I caught my foot already. Let's try that again, take 2, here we go. So 1, 2, 3, 4. There you go, really simple. Some dancers will do this for about 30 seconds, and that's a real thigh burner, a real butt burner. It's really good for the core. That's why I love hoop dancing. It keeps me in shape, especially at the age I'm at. You know, I'm getting into the golden years of hoop dancing, and you know, a lot of hoop dancers don't last that long. So I'm grateful though, because it's helped keep me healthy. So here I'm going to show you a trick. And the one thing that makes up hoop dancing a lot is the combinations and how you transition from one move to the next and so on and so forth. Those transitions are important, and we practice those as hoop dancers. So here's the transition. I'm going to show you guys really quick. I'm going to show you a series of moves, and it's up to you guys to rewind it and figure it out. Okay, so here we go. We'll go into that jumping motion, and you're going to see me throw up the hoop, catch the hoop, make it into a move. Okay, so here we go. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, take 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Up and go and go. So there you go. So there's a little combination move for you guys, and that's some one hoop basics. And next, I'm going to take you guys through all 13 hoops and show you just quickly, if you're learning hoop dancing, maybe some of you know of hoop dancers, maybe some of you are hoop dancers. This is for the future generations, so you can continue to learn and grow and learn this beautiful art of hoop dancing. So thank you guys for tuning in. And this is, again, my name is Dallas Arcand. I'm a 3-time world champion hoop dancer, and it's been a great privilege to share with you. Hi, kanana skumten kakyo.